Let's now take you back to our top story, where Prime Minister Modi has unveiled an ambitious 1 lakh crore rupees, or around 11.5 billion US dollars scheme to boost research and development in the country. To talk about it, we have with us Professor Abhay Karandikar, Secretary, Department of Science and Technology. Good evening to you, Professor Karandikar. Dr. Karandikar, what do you make of, first of all, congratulations. It's a major announcement. I think the Cabinet took a decision a couple of months back about this scheme. But tell us, to what extent is it going to add to the already widening landscape of innovation that India has put together, especially over the last 11 odd years?
So first of all, thank you very much. This is one of the most transformative steps of the government of India, in the sense that this fund will be used to spur the research and development in private sector, including corporates and startups, and it will also contribute to setting up the deep tech fund of fund. This scheme will finance the projects at TRL level 4 and above in some of the sunrise sectors, which the cabinet had identified in its approval in July 1st. And in these sunrise sectors, the financing will be in the form of long tenor, low interest rate loans, or equity, or a combination of that.
All right, and this will be available to what kind of people or institutions or organizations?
Okay, so this will be available to, as I said, to fund R&D in private sector, and that includes both the industries, the corporates, as well as the startups. This fund will operate through a two-tier mechanism. The first tier will be a special purpose fund that has been set up in Anusandhan National Research Foundation. And this special purpose fund, that is the Research Development and Innovation Fund, will identify the second level fund managers. These second level fund managers could be the alternate investment funds, or they could be development financial institutions, or they could be NBFCs, or they could be some focused research organizations. So for example, Department of Science and Technologies, the TDB, or DBTs, BIRAC, etc. So this fund will give the capital or money to the second level fund manager, and then these second level fund managers will select the projects of a private sector industry, and this could be the startup also. In the sunrise sectors, which includes, for example, the clean energy or energy transition, or it includes biomanufacturing, biotechnology, pharmaceuticals, or artificial intelligence, or deep tech like quantum, robotics, space, defense tech, artificial intelligence, semiconductors, and digital economy, precision agricultures, and so on.
All right. So you're saying even VCs could be part of it, or for that matter, even incubators could be part of it, depending on, and institutions, of course, which are, of course, into science and technology and developing innovative products.
Yes, correct. I think, as I mentioned, that this fund will not give any types of grant. It will either give a long-term loan, or it will invest in the form of equity in the startups. Now, this is primarily meant for R&D in the corporates and private sectors and startups. The Department of Science and Technology and several other scientific ministries of the government have been funding, R&D in academic institutions, universities, research labs for a long time. And last year, when the Anusandhan National Research Foundation was operationalized, this further boosted the funding of R&D in our academic institutions and universities. But this 1 lakh crore Research Development and Innovation Fund is specifically meant for catalyzing the innovation and R&D in the private sector.
But there's always the question of to what extent should the government be in the private sector. You're talking about equity, then people start talking about equity being used for regulation, regulatory push as well. Do you feel that that is something that the private industry might need a bit of a reassurance on?
No, actually, this fund was started with an idea. See, generally, as you know, that private sector has shied away from investing in cutting edge R&D, and the reason for that has been that a cutting edge R&D requires has a longer gestation period, and therefore it requires a patient capital, and returns are uncertain. Return on investments are uncertain, and that is the reason the government has taken this very bold step forward to mitigate the initial risks which the private sector may be having in some of the cutting edge R&D having a longer gestation period. And we hope that by mitigating the initial risk, this will further catalyze the investment from the private sector. This fund will invest up to 50% of the total assessed cost of the project. The remaining 50% the project proponent have to bring in either from their own sources or from other non-government commercial sources. The basic objective is this, that by taking the initial risk which is involved in the longer gestation cutting edge R&D, we will be able to spur the R&D innovation in the private sectors towards developing the products and towards developing technologies in the sunrise sectors.
Okay. We wish you all the success in this endeavor. But let me also ask you, to what extent do you think this will spur the entire ecosystem of innovation, of research and development in the country? Because right now everybody is talking about the race to get to the actual generative artificial intelligence, and also at the same time India speaks of, and with other nations as well, speaks about a humane approach to AI as well, where it's not just about getting to that sort of a goal first and exploiting it to the maximum.
So I think, as I mentioned, that one of the objectives of this fund is to do the cutting edge R&D, not just the applications or use cases or developing infrastructure or only funding the manufacturing. This fund is actually for our country to develop a strategic autonomy in certain sunrise sectors, and this fund has been launched with a very ambitious goal of developing indigenous capabilities, achieving the strategic autonomy and moving towards a product economy, and is in line with our Honorable Prime Minister's vision of making our country Atmanirbhar in key sectors of the technology.
That sounds great. We already have, we are developing Atmanirbharta in many spheres, self-reliance when it comes to our defense imports, to our mobile and telecommunication networks as well. That is also something that has happened. India has joined a very elite group of nations where that is concerned, and we wish you all the more success in this endeavor. Thank you for joining us, Professor Karandikar.